Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Last year, over $3 billion in crypto, poof, gone, vanished, due to hacks.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
whether
so
you're a seasoned crypto pro or just dipping your toes into the world of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that stuff, we're going to help you keep your digital assets safe.
definitely a topic worth exploring.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got some really interesting source material to dig into today with a special focus on something called SafePal. Have you heard of SafePal?
I have, yeah. They're known for their hardware wallets, right?
Yeah. And that's what we're going to be talking about. But first, we need to kind of lay the groundwork and talk about the importance of building a secure but also diversified crypto portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that brings us to, I think, one of the first things people encounter when they're getting into crypto, centralized exchanges. Um, you know, they can be super convenient,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
but they come with certain trade-offs,
Yeah.
control and risk
Right.
and all that.
Right.
So, what are your thoughts on centralized exchanges?
Well, they definitely have their place. I mean, they make it easy to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies. But you have to be aware of the risks involved.
Right.
It's a bit like, leaving your valuables in an unlocked car,
Okay.
right? It might be easy to access,
Yeah.
but it's certainly not the safest option. When you use a centralized exchange, you're essentially trusting them with your private keys.
And I think that's the thing a lot of people don't even realize they're doing. What are private keys? Explain it to somebody who has no idea.
So private keys are like, think of them as the passwords to your crypto, right?
Okay.
They're these long strings of letters and numbers,
Right.
and they give you access to your funds. And the saying in the crypto world is, not your keys, not your coins.
I've heard that, yeah.
Right. And so if you're not holding your private keys yourself, you're not really in control of your crypto.
So what you're saying is if the exchange gets hacked or goes bankrupt, your funds could be gone.
Exactly. And unfortunately, we've seen this happen. I mean, think about Mt. Gox back in, was it 2014?
Yeah.
That was a massive exchange, and they lost a huge amount of Bitcoin. More recently, we had the FTX collapse, which was just a major event in the crypto space.
Yeah, people lost a lot of money.
Yeah, billions of dollars were lost. And these events really shook the confidence of a lot of investors.
It did. And, it highlights the need for more secure alternatives.
Mhm.
And that brings us to hardware wallets,
Oh.
specifically SafePal. They're trying to address these security concerns head on. What can you tell us about SafePal and how it works?
So SafePal, at its core, is a hardware wallet. And what a hardware wallet does is it takes your private keys and it stores them offline.
Offline, okay.
So it's not connected to the internet.
So there's no way for a hacker to just kind of get in there.
Right.
Because it's not even connected.
It's not connected, exactly. They use something called air-gapped technology, which means the device never connects to the internet directly, and that makes it much harder for hackers to access your funds remotely.
I've seen these things, right? They look like little, almost like little USB drives or something.
They do, yeah. They're small, portable devices.
Okay. So that's a pretty solid approach. But I got to be honest, I always thought these hardware wallets, they were for, the techie people, the code writers.
The hardcore.
Yeah. Is SafePal, is it user-friendly? Can I,
Yeah.
can my mom figure it out?
They've really made an effort to make it accessible for everyone.
Oh, good.
The interface is very intuitive.
Okay.
They've got great support resources if you ever need help. So yeah, it's designed for both beginners and experienced users.
And I see here that SafePal supports over 10,000 cryptocurrencies.
It does, yeah. It's not just limited to Bitcoin. They support a wide range of assets, including Bitcoin, of course, Ethereum, and then a whole bunch of what are called altcoins.
Now, what's an altcoin?
An altcoin is basically any cryptocurrency that's not Bitcoin.
Okay, so everything else.
Everything else, exactly.
Yeah.
So you've got, Litecoin, Solana, you name it. If it's not Bitcoin, it's an altcoin.
So you could basically manage your entire crypto portfolio in one place.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where things get interesting to me, right?
Mm.
This SafePal also has this like self-destruct mechanism.
It does, yeah.
Explain that. What does that even mean?
Okay, so imagine this, right? Someone's trying to physically tamper with your device. They're trying to break into it, get your private keys.
Right.
The device will automatically wipe itself clean, erase your private keys. It's like having a built-in security system that protects your funds even from physical threats.
Wow. That's pretty intense. But what if you accidentally damage the device? Like what if you, I don't know, spill coffee on it or something?
Right. That's why it's so important to have a backup of what's called your recovery phrase,
Okay.
which is a series of words that you get when you set up the wallet. And these words allow you to restore your funds on a new device if you ever lose or damage your current one.
Oh, okay.
So even if the device self-destructs, you're not out of luck.
Okay, so there is a way back. That's reassuring.
There is. You just need to keep that recovery phrase safe.
Got it. Write that down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about keeping our assets safe from hackers, even physical threats, with SafePal. But just having a secure wallet is only one piece of the puzzle, right?
It is. It's a good foundation, a very important foundation,
Yeah.
but there's more to it than just having a secure wallet.
So we're not just talking about choosing the right wallet. We're talking about how we allocate our investments across different assets.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to dive into next. We'll explore how to diversify your crypto holdings, strategically manage your assets, and stay informed, because this is a constantly evolving space.
Well, I am looking forward to learning more about that. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Okay, so, we've talked about SafePal.
Yeah.
It's a good way to,
Safe.
yeah, a
Guarantee it.
secure place to
Yeah.
keep your crypto.
Right.
But now that we've kind of got that baseline level of security, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about diversification,
Yeah. Diversification.
which is something that I think a lot of people overlook when they're first getting into crypto.
Yeah, they get excited, right?
They do.
They hear all the stories about, Bitcoin going to the moon or
Right.
Dogecoin or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they just want to jump in and
FOMO.
yeah, FOMO.
Yeah.
And they buy whatever's hot at the moment.
Right.
And they just put all their eggs in one basket.
And that can be a big mistake.
Yeah, especially in a market as volatile as crypto.
Exactly.
We've seen huge swings
Huge swings.
up and down.
Yeah.
So diversification is really about kind of spreading your risk across multiple assets.
Yeah, mitigating that risk.
Right.
So that if one investment takes a hit, your entire portfolio isn't wiped out.
So it's like, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
An age-old saying.
Yeah.
But it applies perfectly to crypto.
Yeah. And when it comes to crypto, diversification can take several different forms, right? Like
Yeah.
what are...
So first, you want to diversify across different types of assets, right? So instead of putting all your money into, let's say, Bitcoin,
Yeah.
you might consider investing in some other, more established cryptocurrencies like Ethereum,
Okay.
or maybe even look at, stable coins, which are, they're pegged to fiat currencies like the US dollar. And then, maybe sprinkle in some promising altcoins as well.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned altcoins earlier. Remind us what an altcoin is.
So an altcoin is basically any cryptocurrency that is not Bitcoin.
Okay, so everything else.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got Litecoin, you've got Solana, Cardano, Polkadot, all these different,
Right,
projects. They
Right.
all have different functionalities, different use cases
right.
than Bitcoin. So it's good to have a mix in your portfolio.
So are you saying that it's a good idea to kind of have a bit of everything?
Not necessarily everything, but a balanced mix.
Right.
Based on your risk tolerance.
Right.
And then the second aspect of diversification is what we call staggering your holdings.
Staggering your holdings. What does that mean?
So this is about strategically using different types of wallets for different purposes.
Okay.
Right. We talked about SafePal as a great option for long-term
Sure.
secure storage.
Right.
This is what's often referred to as cold storage,
Yeah.
right? Because it's offline.
Okay.
But you wouldn't want to use your SafePal for every single transaction, would you?
No. It doesn't sound very practical, especially if you want to, buy something online quickly or you want to send some crypto to a friend or something.
Right. And that's where hot wallets come in. So hot wallets are typically software wallets or exchange accounts that are connected to the internet. They're much more convenient for everyday transactions, but, they do come with higher security risks.
So it's kind of like having a checking account for your daily spending
Yes.
and then a savings account for your long-term savings.
That's a good analogy, yeah. So you want to keep, a small amount of crypto in a hot wallet for, quick access, and then the majority of your holdings in cold storage with something like SafePal.
Okay. And what are some examples of popular hot wallets that people might use?
Sure. So some popular software wallets out there include Exodus, MetaMask, Trust Wallet. Those are just a few examples.
And is there anything in particular people should look for when they're choosing a hot wallet?
Yeah, absolutely. So, look for security features like two-factor authentication. Make sure it's a reputable development team behind the wallet.
Right. Yeah.
Check the user reviews, see what other people are saying about it. And Always, always download wallets from official sources,
Right.
the App Store or Google Play or the
Yeah.
official website
Okay.
to avoid scams.
So diversify across asset classes.
Yeah.
Stagger my holdings using both hot and cold wallets. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
But, the crypto world is constantly changing, right?
And
New projects are popping up all the time.
all the time. Yeah.
It's easy to get FOMO.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
how do we stay informed and avoid making, costly mistakes because we jump on the wrong bandwagon or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, continuous learning is absolutely essential in this space. There's so many resources available. You've got websites like CoinDesk, Cointelegraph. You've got podcasts, YouTube channels, even online communities, where you can connect with other crypto enthusiasts and kind of learn from each other.
It does feel like there's a lot of information out there.
There is. There is.
It's hard to know where to begin. So
Right.
what's your advice for somebody who's just starting out? How do you even begin to kind of wrap your head around all this stuff?
Well, start with the basics. Learn about the different types of cryptocurrencies.
Right.
Understand the technology behind them, at least at a high level. Familiarize yourself with common scams and security risks. And, don't be afraid to ask questions. Reach out to people. Seek out advice from experienced investors. There's a lot of people out there who are willing to help.
Okay, so diversify, stay informed. I've got my SafePal for secure storage. What else do I need to know to kind of keep my crypto safe?
Let's talk about seed phrases.
Okay.
So we touched on them briefly earlier.
Yeah.
But it's worth diving a little deeper because this is where a lot of people, unfortunately, make critical mistakes.
Okay. Remind me again, what is a seed phrase?
Okay. So remember we talked about private keys being like the passwords to your crypto?
Right.
Well, the seed phrase is like the master key that can unlock all your private keys. So it's typically a sequence of 12 or 24 words that you get when you set up a new wallet.
Right.
And these words, if you lose your device or you forget your password, you can use the seed phrase to restore your funds on a new device.
So it's like the ultimate backup.
It is, yeah. It's your safety net. But here's the catch. If someone gets access to your seed phrase, they have complete control over your wallet and all your funds. So you need to treat this like gold.
This is starting to sound serious. Okay.
Oh.
So how do I protect my seed phrase?
The golden rule is never store your seed phrase digitally.
Okay.
Don't type it into your computer, don't save it in a cloud document, and definitely don't take a screenshot of it. Anything digital can be hacked.
Right.
It can be compromised.
So we're going old school here.
Old school, yeah. Pen and paper are your best friends when it comes to seed phrases.
Okay.
So write it down neatly, accurately on a piece of paper.
Right.
Or, even etch it into a more durable material like metal, something that's not going to easily get destroyed.
Okay, so I've got it written down. Now, where do I keep it?
This is where you need to get creative and think like a spy. Choose a location that is secure, fireproof, waterproof,
Right.
and most importantly, hidden from prying eyes.
Okay.
Some people, they keep their seed phrases in a safe deposit box at a bank.
Oh, okay.
Others, they get really creative. They might bury it in their backyard or
Right.
hide it in some discreet location in their home.
So it's not just about writing it down. It's about making sure that nobody else can find it.
Exactly.
And you know what? Just thinking out loud here,
Yeah.
could you split your seed phrase up like into multiple parts?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good idea. And you can store those parts in different locations. That way, if someone finds one part, they don't have access to the whole thing.
That's a smart idea.
Oh.
Okay, so let's say the worst happens. I lose my seed phrase. Is there any way to recover my funds?
That's why it's important to have multiple backups
Right.
of your seed phrase stored in separate secure locations. So if you lose one copy, you've got others to fall back on. Think of it like having spare keys to your house.
Yeah.
You never know when you might need them.
I get it.
Mm.
It's a lot of responsibility, though.
It is, yeah.
Now, this is serious stuff.
It is, yeah. But, it's your financial future we're talking about here.
Right.
So taking the time to properly secure your assets,
Right.
it's an investment in itself.
Okay. And it's not like we're doing this alone, right? I mean, there's a whole community of people who are learning and sharing information about this stuff.
Absolutely. There's a huge community, both online and offline. And we're all in this together, right? By sharing knowledge and helping each other, we can create a more secure and resilient crypto ecosystem for everyone.
I like that. So we've talked about, the physical security of our seed phrase,
Mhm.
but what about scams? Like what if
Yeah.
somebody tries to trick me into giving up my seed phrase?
Yeah. So that's social engineering,
Social engineering.
which is a whole other, can of worms.
Yeah, that sounds a bit ominous. What exactly is that?
So social engineering is basically when scammers use psychological manipulation to try to trick you into revealing sensitive information.
Okay, like my seed phrase or my private keys.
Exactly.
And how do they do that?
They can be very convincing. They might impersonate someone you know,
Oh, wow.
right? Create fake social media profiles to gain your trust. They might even call you pretending to be from, a tech support company or your bank.
Right.
And their goal is to pressure you into making rash decisions,
Right.
giving them access to your accounts.
So how do we protect ourselves from that? How do we not fall for these scams?
Well, first and foremost, be skeptical. Don't trust unsolicited contact, especially if someone is pressuring you to act quickly or reveal personal information.
Right.
Always verify identities.
Okay.
Don't click on suspicious links.
Right.
And if something feels off, trust your gut. Walk away.
Yeah.
Remember, no legitimate company or service will ever ask for your seed phrase.
Right. They shouldn't need to know that.
They should not need to know that.
Okay, so be skeptical, verify identities, trust my instincts.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
What else?
Use strong, unique passwords for all your crypto accounts. Don't reuse the same password across multiple platforms.
Right.
It's like having the same key for your house, your car, and your office. If someone gets that one key, they can access everything.
Yeah.
So consider using a password manager
Oh.
to help you generate and store strong passwords securely.
It's like having a bodyguard for all my passwords.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
Right. Secure wallets, diversification, seed phrase protection, social engineering awareness, strong passwords.
Right.
It's all interconnected.
It is, yeah. Crypto security is a multifaceted challenge,
Right.
and it requires a holistic approach.
Right.
But the good news is, with the right knowledge and the right tools, you can significantly reduce your risk
Right.
and navigate this space with confidence.
This has been super helpful, and I feel like I have a much better understanding now of how to protect my crypto.
I'm glad to hear that. But remember, security is an ongoing journey,
Yeah.
not a destination.
Right.
As technology evolves, so do the threats. It's essential to stay informed,
Yeah.
adapt your strategies, and never become complacent.
So it's not a set and forget it kind of thing.
No.
You got to stay on top of
You
it.
got to be vigilant.
You got to be vigilant. Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today.
We have.
Secure wallets, diversification, seed phrases, social engineering, strong passwords.
Right.
I think we've got a good foundation here. Yeah, I think so too.
What else should we be thinking about when it comes to crypto security?
Well, let's talk about your internet connection. Because you could have the most secure wallet, the strongest passwords,
Right.
but if your internet connection is compromised, you're still vulnerable.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. So one area that's often overlooked is the security of your internet connection.
Right.
You could have the most secure wallet in the world. You
Yeah.
could have the strongest passwords.
Right.
But if your internet connection is compromised, you're still vulnerable.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Right.
I've heard about, public Wi-Fi being risky,
Right.
but I didn't really think about it in terms of, crypto.
Yeah.
So how can public Wi-Fi impact my crypto security?
Well, public Wi-Fi networks, they're notorious for being insecure.
Right.
Hackers can pretty easily snoop on your traffic
Right.
and steal your data.
Oh.
So if you're using a public Wi-Fi network, at a coffee shop or an airport or whatever,
Right.
avoid accessing any sensitive information,
Yeah.
like your crypto wallets or your exchange accounts.
Okay. So what if I have to, use my phone or my laptop or something when I'm out and about? What's the best way to protect myself?
Well, using a virtual private network
Oh, okay.
or a VPN
Right.
is a really great way to add an extra layer of security.
Okay. Now, how does a VPN work?
So a VPN basically encrypts your internet traffic.
Oh, okay.
And it routes it through a secure server, making it much harder for hackers to intercept your data.
So it's like having a secret tunnel for my data.
That's a good way to think about it, yeah.
Okay.
And there are many reputable VPN services out
Oh.
there, both free and paid.
Okay. So use a VPN on public Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Got it. Any other kind of general online safety tips that you can share?
Yeah, sure. So, just be mindful of the information that you share online. Avoid posting about your crypto holdings on social media or
Mm.
forums.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like, putting a sign on your door saying, rob me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're basically advertising that you have, valuable assets that
Mm.
could be targeted. And be wary of, unsolicited messages or emails from people you don't know. They could be what are called phishing attempts,
Right. Right.
which are designed to trick you into revealing sensitive information.
Oh, okay. So it's really all about just being aware, right?
Yeah.
Being aware of the risks
Being aware.
and taking steps to, be careful.
Yeah, exactly. Being proactive about your security.
And remembering that security is an ongoing process,
Right.
right? It's
Yeah.
not just something you do once and then you're good.
Exactly. As new threats emerge, you need to adapt. You need to stay informed.
Right.
And you need to just
Be vigilant.
be vigilant. Yeah.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of ground today.
Mhm.
Secure wallets, diversification, seed phrases, social engineering, strong passwords, secure internet connections.
Yeah.
Um, it's a lot, but I feel like I've got a much better grasp of things now.
Well, that's great to hear. And, one of the things that I find most encouraging about this space is the sense of community.
Oh.
We're all learning together and we're all supporting each other as we navigate this new financial landscape.
I agree. And that's what I like about it. It's not just about, the technology or the money even. It's about the people who are involved,
Yeah.
who are building this space
It's about the people.
and
Right.
and trying to make it a better place for everybody. So
Yeah.
where do we go from here? I mean, we've got all this knowledge now about crypto security. What's next?
Well, now it's time to put that knowledge into action. Take the steps that we've discussed today to secure your crypto assets, stay informed about new developments, and, continue to be an active participant in this exciting and evolving space.
I like that because it's not just about protecting our own investments. It's about contributing to a more, secure and inclusive ecosystem for everybody.
Exactly. Well said.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring the fascinating world of cryptocurrency.